machine learning for embedded systems. Okay, the objective of this webinar is how we can implement machine learning in embedded systems. Okay, I will here I will first I will tell about the machine learning part, and after that I will explain about embedded systems. After that I will explain the details of how we can implement this machine learning in embedded systems. We can in three parts I will planning to explain here. First part is the machine learning. Okay. uh, okay, artificial intelligence. uh, I hope everyone might know about what's the meaning of artificial intelligence. It's nothing but in, nothing but intelligence, making the intelligence in artificial manner, so that the machines or some product or whatever it maybe, it will think, and it will take decisions by their own, and it acts like a human being. Okay, because we are human beings and other many living animals, or they have their natural intelligence to some we are making this intelligence artificially, so that the machines can interact like human being, and it will take own decisions, and it will help the human in a better way. Okay, so machine learning, here comes the machine learning. Machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence. It's because artificial intelligence is making the machine to react as human. To make it we need to teach the machine, or to we need to train the machine. Okay, the machine means you can take it as a robo, or some automatic vehicle, or some fully automated process. Okay, so teach the how we will teach the machine, or a product to be act like a human being. This is there are so many ways to implement the machine learning. Before that, why we need machine learning? Okay, thing is, if you want to do something, or if you plan to develop something, we need some reason, right? Why? So take example of if you are planning a trip. So that car will tell you that kilometer, estimated kilometer, but you only knows which path you can take, right? This information, if machine gives to you, like with the past data, or the data they're taking from cloud or something, and if machine takes the data and the machine tells you, okay, this route you can take, and there here it will you can reach the destination, or without any interruption you can reach, like that. If machine tells you the right path, not only telling the estimated distance and the petrol level, it will inform you which path you can take, like that. If the machine tells how it will be, this is the thing we need machine learning. The machine will act as a human being, because here, if you are not familiar with the place, there is no need to depend on some of your friends, or someone. The machine will act as a human, and it will act as your friend, and it will teach you everything, or it will explain you everything. Okay, so how can we implement this machine learning here? There are three different types, are the most popular types of machine learning techniques. There are supervised learning, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Okay, I hope some of you may know about this. Thing is, supervised learning is nothing but a label data. People usually tell it's label data. It means already known data. Like if you know some person's face, you can easily tell, okay, this one is this person's name is this one, like that. You can easily identify it. It's like a label data. Okay, unsupervised learning is nothing but there won't be any label data here. You will find out, or you will conclude based on the patterns of data. Okay, some data that you can group it, or you can relate it, and you can based on different here we need more data. Based on the data, you can identify, or you can conclude things. And reinforcement learning is nothing but it's like a trial and error method. Okay, I will explain you in detail. So here there are different algorithms for different type of learning. So supervised learning, we have classification. These are most common algorithms. There are so many algorithms here. For time being purpose, I will explain you few things. Okay. Here the classification and regression are the most common supervised learning algorithms. That this is nothing but in embedded terms, if you want to tell it, you can tell us a classification is like a digital data and regression is like analog data. Okay, if it like digital data, I hope some few may know about the embedded and how it will work, and it has so many sensors input or push buttons, switches inputs to the microcontrollers or microprocessor. So what will microcontroller think if if some pin has high, the input is high, it will consider it is on state or off state. Or, if you consider device and if you are taking the status of device, if the input is in high state, you can tell easily it is an on state. If it input is low, you can easily tell it is in off state. It's like a to classify. Okay, these are the applications are in the on state and these are applications in the off state. Like you can easily classify. It's like a digital data. Okay, regression is like an analog data. Here the data is continuous data. So like if you want to switch on a fan or light based on some analog input, like if light and if you are taking a light intensity as your input, so if intensity of light normally 1 lakh or 1 lakh 1000 like that flux will be there for light intensity during daytimes, and during evening or morning time the light intensity unit will be some around 400 flux like that. Okay, so if you take that unit into some voltage like 0 to 5 volt in microcontrollers, and if you can consider it is the voltage range is above 4.1, you will consider it is it will be in a higher, it will be higher state 5 volt. Or if you like it's in digital data 4.1 above 4.1 you will consider 5 volt, and for below 1.2 or some, it's based on the again based on the controller, it will be 0. But in analog, you will take, it will come in if you take the light intensity into you convert into the 0 to 5 volt. In 0 to 5 volt, you can think, okay, for 400 flux intensity, the voltage will be around 0.5 or 0.61 based on that based on sensor input. You can easily command and tell that, okay, once it is below this range, you can switch on or switch off the light, or once it is above this range, you can switch on or switch off. Like this is the same the regression says. Okay, it's like a sort of analog data. There is a data is continuous. You can program it, and you can give algorithm to program it. Below this range, it will be on state or off state, or it's based on your condition. Okay. The unsupervised learning, there are two algorithms: association and clustering. Okay. In this part, clustering, as the image shows, you have to group. Actually, in image here it shows like the green images are grouped and red images are grouped together. Okay, if you come into real life situation, you may know about some automated kitchen robot. So the kitchen robot, what will do? It will go into the kitchen and it will see the vegetables there, and based on that color and based on that shape, so for a carrot it will be in orange color, and it will based on shape it will group it, and it will consider, okay, this is a carrot, and other like that it will categorize all the vegetables or all the groceries. Okay, so it will cluster it, and based on the images, everything, it will consider it as some output. Okay, so what it will here do, it will collect all the information, all the data, and it will cluster the data that are close together and cluster it, and based on that clustering data, it will give us some output. Okay, and association is like relating one data with another data. Okay, here the nice example will be if you are going to a petrol bunk. Okay, so your car says, okay, petrol is nearing empty, you want to refill your tank. Okay, and then with the AI related AI car, if you imagine an AI car, So it will show petrol bunk which is near to you, everything it will show. Okay, so just you want to go to petrol bunk, you can refill your tank. Okay, while refilling tank, what will machine, if you imagine what will machine, it will tell you the tire pressure also, because while refilling tank, you can refilling your tank in petrol bank, you can check your air pressure and tire pressure, and then you can you can put air there. Okay, so it will relate you the, if you go to petrol bank, it will relate the air pressure to, it will show you air pressure, and you can easily you can use it. Okay, so this is the like association. It will relate the things. Like if you go to supermarket, there like if you're buying some product, some related products will be shown to you. So like that, you can associated product associated data. You can cluster, and so you can associate, you can relate, and it will, based on that relation, the algorithm will work. Okay, this association algorithm. Then reinforcement learning is nothing but, I already told, it's a trial and error method. So here also there is algorithm. So we have already given algorithm to feed the algorithm to a machine. So machine will learn by it based on the algorithm. It will learn by it with the environment. Okay. Here also I can give another example. If you are traveling from place A to place B, okay, like if you are, okay, consider if Coimbatore to Chennai, okay. If you are the algorithm is driving, you have to drive, okay. But thing is the route and all route, what the route you need to select, what the way you need to go, what speed, everything it won't tell. It just the algorithm is, so driving is algorithm, okay. So if your car goes, okay, if there is any block in the road, or if there is any protest in the road, or if there is any like maintenance work is going in the road, okay, what will you do? Or if it is dead end, okay, what will you do? With human, we know, okay, if there is dead end, we need to take U-turn, and you should take another path, right? Or else if there is any protest, you need to take some left turn or right turn, and you can reach your destination, right? Like that, the machine what will do, it will like human, how we thinks, machine will also learn like that. It will go there, and if there is anything happening, it will take another path, and it will anything like that. We and this is like you can rewarding things. Okay, it is, if it is doing correct, you will acknowledge it. Otherwise, you have to tell that algorithm, and you can to change it algorithm, so that machine will, based on the algorithm, it machine will learn it by self, and then it will achieve the best. Okay, so that this is like reinforcement learning. Okay, these are the major learning methods with some algorithms. Okay, these are some few more algorithms for the same supervised and unsupervised learning. There are super vector machines, discriminant analysis, there, and for clustering, k-means, k methods, everything. There are so many algorithms are there. I think you can explore all these algorithms by own, or else you can contact us in future. I will explain in detail in all the algorithms. I will explain you. Okay. So we need a platform, right? Once you develop a tool, or for this learning methods, we, what I told, there are so many algorithms, right? So these are the algorithms developed by many companies or many individual. Okay, there are so many algorithms. Still, people are developing some algorithms because they are using some algorithm. If they found some flaws in the algorithm, they will develop their own, and they will develop some new algorithms. Okay. So what will they, okay, for to develop algorithms or to develop programs? What we need to, we need some platforms, right? So these are the platforms, the languages like Java, Python, MATLAB, or these are the programming languages or platforms. You can use it to develop algorithms. Okay, these are the common and most famous algorithms for platforms, the languages here. Okay, these are frameworks. These frameworks is nothing but a template. Okay, this, there is some template. They gave some coding template. Okay, with this could take this template, and you can use your code in, you can use some of your code in this template. You can develop some learning for, to set up some programs for that. Okay, so TensorFlow, Elaine, Keras, these are the PyTorch. These are the some algorithms. So TensorFlow is use it mainly for data flow and differential programming, differential programming like that. And PyTorch is for mainly for computer vision like that. Each and every frameworks there, they have some unique thing. They will deal some data. Okay, these are the frameworks, and you have libraries also here. So NumPy, SciPy, Matplot, these are libraries also. Like the difference between frameworks and libraries is nothing but frameworks is a template. You need to work within the template. Okay, you can't change the template. Okay, if you don't like the template, you can't use that. You can use, so there are so many templates, so many frameworks there. You can use whatever it is, whatever the template you like, whatever the framework you like, you can use that, and you can code within that. Here the libraries is here the code is, you will do the code. Okay, so and you can take some libraries for your code, and you will change your code. You will the template or design, everything you will do by your own based on your likings. Okay, you based on your interest. So libraries and frameworks are like that. The small difference is like the template, and this is that won't affect your structure. But libraries here, you can develop your own code, so you can modify structure, everything. Okay, you can use all these, and mainly these are like these frameworks and libraries are I gave here. This means mostly these are used in Python. So Python is Python is most commonly used tool for machine learning. It will be very useful because the machine supports the Python supports Python code will be very supported in hardware part. Okay, so that if you take some hardware like microcontroller, microprocessor, Python will be easily understandable. So the Python is mostly commonly used. So these are the libraries I gave mostly in with Python. So, okay, so here the embedded systems. Okay, embedded systems. I hope everyone, almost many people might know about embedded systems. Embedded system is nothing but programming, embedding and programming and hardware. Here, what will do? The embedded system is already there in market or in industries for a long time. Here, what we'll do? We'll automate the things. So we'll automate a product or complete automation. Automation is will be done using some microcontroller, microprocessor. We will, based on the requirement, based on the user requirement or client requirement or product requirement, what we'll do, we will take this thing. So we will take requirements, and we will choose a component. For that component, based on the requirement, we will program and we will make automation. So this automated product will be there in every part, like from smart health to aerospace to robotics, infotainment, smart transport, everything. The embedded system is there. Now the new thing is AI and ML. This one we are trying to implement in this embedded systems, so that already developed or already a automated product will be more automated, or it will work in an intelligent manner. Okay. Uh, the embedded means there's a microprocessor and microcontroller. These are the most common thing in embedded. So microcontroller and microprocessors, the difference is that microcontroller is a standalone unit, single chip. We can use it for small products or standalone products, and microprocessor is a large scale. If you want to develop large scale automation, you can go for this microprocessor. It has so many supporting chips in that. So it has good amount of RAM, everything it will be there. So it will be in machine learning part, microprocessor or processor thing will be more useful for machine learning part. Okay. Next one is Internet of Things. The Internet of Things is it's already many people might know. This is the Industry 4.0 concept. As I already told, there are so many cars or so many products or in industries. They are fully automated. Industrial automation, where factory automation, everything will be fully automated. Here, what we are trying to do is we will connecting this automated product into the cloud or through into the internet. Okay, so here what will we do? Like take an example of a car. If you have, there are some modern cars are fully automated, has fully automated dashboard. Everything is automated and it will shown in dashboard, right? So from fuel tank level to air pressure to engine heat and door closing status, everything it will be shown in the dashboard, right? If you want to know it from somewhere, if you are the owner of the car and if someone is taking your car and if you want to know the status of the car from your location, you can easily monitor it through the internet. If some app is there, you can easily monitor the car status. So for to do that, uh, we need to interact, we need to communicate this all these things to the to your location, right, through internet. So this is the part the internet of things comes. Internet of things means connecting all the machineries or all the products into the through internet. So this is the like internet of things. Okay, so the nice example for internet of things is smart home. And already there are few homes they're implemented with IoT technology. They have so many domestic appliances like from fridge to washing machine to light, fan, everything will be controlled or monitored from your mobile or from your location, so that you can through the internet, so you can easily control everything and monitor it. So this is the nice example for the internet smart home. Here, why how here AI comes? AI comes means like if you already there is a fully automated thing and it's developing, it's working fine, but thing still some human intelligence should be there. It should be expected. Like if you take example, like during the good raining season, there will be a strong thunder and lightning, right? It may affect the light. If there is strong lightning, it will affect your total electrical line, right? So if you want to if here during lighting time, what should you do? You need to cut the line. You need to isolate your home from the grid, so that you can easily protect your home environment, home the electrical environment. Okay, so if a machine, if there is an intelligent and there is some algorithm in that automated part, like that if it's thunder or if it's high lightning, so that it will also automatically isolate your home, like that. It is some, if it will think like a human and it will act like this, means it is where we need AI for. So AI not only in smart home, if you take a car or if you take some robot, wherever it is, you can easily control or easily without your human interaction, the machine will take their own decision. So there we need AI in IoT part also. Okay. So here there's a main objective ML in embedded systems. So if you implement a machine learning in embedded systems, we can say after implementing embedded systems, after implementing ML in embedded systems, we can say the automation as a intelligent automation. We can coin this word like intelligent automation. Because there is in every part from factory automation to industrial automation to or like automatic cars. So like nowadays cars, everything there is a fully automated things there, but the automation should act in a more intelligent way. That's where we are trying to, and we will planning to implement machine learning in that. Okay, so here that we need to implement intelligent automation. We have something to discuss. Okay, first thing is devices suitable for intelligent automation. So devices is here we have listed few devices, few devices here like Raspberry Pi, Arduino, or some STM controllers, ARM microcontrollers. These are the things. A few boards are available in market, and we need few more hardwares and few more very good hardwares with very good configuration, so that we can implement ML in a very good way, because we need to implement so many programs. So the program length will be very large, and there will be we need to use many algorithms, that so that machine the hardware should be in a very good configuration. So this is the thing. The difficulty is the device memory of the memory capacity. So memory capacity should be in a very good condition, so that the processing speed of the board will be good. If memory and processing speed, everything is very good manner, then you can implement machine learning or machine learning algorithms in the program. You can, if you take a Raspberry Pi, you can already, there are, you can use Python program, and you can do some automation products, or so you can, so automation task you can write. But in this part, you can use the algorithms already. I told, right, supervisor, unsupervised. If you're using all these algorithms, and you can implement the algorithms in this program, and you can make this board as a intelligent, make this board to act in an intelligent manner. So for that, after programming this, after implementing this, all these machine learning algorithms, you need data for that. Okay, so data is the main thing here. Data means, I already told, there will be some labeled data or unlabeled data. There will be data in some patterns. So you need lot many data, so that based on the data you can train a machine. The training part is the major part, because the training part only takes large time, very huge time it will take, because if you're training it very well, it will work well. Otherwise, it will fails in the environment. Okay, so once the implementing the algorithms is not a big task comparing to the training part. Okay, once you implement the algorithms, the supervisor or unsupervised or some reinforced whatever algorithms, or you can develop your own algorithms. Okay, develop, and you will implement in the code. After that, you can based on the data there, because first you need to take so many data, and you have to filter data. What are the data are real data, what if there is any fake data, so if there is any error in data, so you have to filter all these data. And you can use the deep learning method. So deep learning is again subset of machine learning. So deep learning, in the deep learning is again, it's an algorithm. It will interact, or the machine will learn by themselves using this deep learning method. So all these things you can use, and you can train a machine. So once your training is completed, you can push into the environment, so that it will act based on your training. Okay, if it fails, you need to train again, and you could need to you need to change your algorithms. Okay, so next is power consumption, security parts. These are the main things. Because if it is if you want to work for long, or if you a long time, you need to, the power should be there. So you need some less power consuming components in the board, like that, so that you can easily you can save power, and it will last for long. Okay, without without before recharging again. Okay, next is security part. The security is the main concern, because everyone is looking into that. If security fails, no one will believe that, no one will depend on try to use that product. So security is the main part. You should ensure the security of their data, security, everything. You need to secure all these things of the users. Okay, then accuracy is mainly depend on training period. However, how long you take time to train, and how long you practice the machine, so it will reflect in that accuracy. Next is skill set requirement. Skill set is here there are so many parts are coming. like from developing a hardware part and programming and developing algorithm, machine learning algorithms, everything. There are so many in so many areas. One should be good enough so that he can or she can develop a machine with machine learned or intelligent automated machine. Okay. So optimization techniques. This one is again to develop a or intelligent automated product in a very good manner, or so optimized manner. So they need more data. So again, I already told there's more work. If you need more, if you have so many data, based on the data, you can train the machine in a very effective manner. So if there is more data, you can give rigorous training. So training, you can train a lot, and you can easily develop a very good intelligent machine. And data should be specific, because it is specific to the requirement. So if it is a specific, it is very easy for you to train also. Next is new learning methods like video learning. If you show some videos to the machine, and it will, through camera, it will read those things, whatever it is there in video, and it will learn by automatic. There's, you should develop some algorithms so that the machine will learn through the videos we are playing. Okay. Next part is future directions. Okay, future direction here, to implement the machine learning in embedded systems, we need, I already told, we need higher bit architectured boards or controllers. We have 8-bit, 32-bit, like 64-bit. We need higher bit, and the new platforms, new algorithms should be there. So there are so many platforms nowadays. We have Java, Python, MATLAB. There are so many. There may be some flaws in these platforms, and you may, if you are good enough, and you can make a new platform that will support the product very well. So, and same an algorithm also. There are so many algorithms there, and developing now also. The people are developing new algorithms. So you can also develop your own algorithm, so that you can, in future, you can easily it will help the future generation, or it will help in future days to implement intelligent machine in our ML number systems in effective manner. Okay. Next is cloud computing. Cloud computing is again, this is related to the Internet of Things. If you take example, like if there is a machine, and if the machine is learning from, if you are implement some algorithms in the machine, and the machine is keep on learning from the environment, and it will, if there is a chance to upload it, all these things, chance to share all the learnings. The if a machine A learns something, there is a chance to teach that learning to other machine B. So it will be very good, right? Because machine B doesn't need to learn all these things again and again. Likewise, if someone knows the platform, someone knows something, we will sharing our experience of our knowledge to someone, right? So that second person can easily gain information from us, or they can take our experience, and he can react well, right? So like that, if a machine A learns something, and if it is planning to share the learning things to the second machine, it will be very good, right? It's like that, if there is a cloud computing, there's the internet. If a machine is connected to the internet, so what can do, the machine one can push all the data or all the things what it is learned. It can put it into the cloud, so that the second machine can fetch it from the cloud, and it can use that learning, the machine A, what the machine A learns, like that they can interchange. They can so many, if there is, 100 or 200 machines there, what the machine, for every machine shares something, some new things, all the machines can easily learn. So like that, cloud computing may be useful. The industry 5.0 is nothing but the yeah, machine learning and artificial intelligence era. So with using all these things, we can easily the machine will be more automated or intelligent automated, and it will help humans in a very effective manner. And here is some real world applications of intelligent automation, or you can say artificial intelligence. Okay. I hope many of you know all these things. The first one is Sophia humanoid robot. I think this is they developed from Hong Kong. It's a Hong Kong based company. They developed this robot some years back. What will do, it will act, the Sophia will act like a human, and will react, and it take decisions, everything. It will say it's like like a human. It will work or it will react. So for making it, they have trained a lot. They used so many machine learning algorithms in that, because if you want a robot, you need some control unit, easy electronic control will be there. So in that control unit, we need some programming algorithms and the machine learning algorithms, so that with that algorithms, that it will act like a human being. The second one is like a Skydio autonomous drone. This one is again fully automated. So it again has a ML part in it. So with this algorithms, it will take decisions by its own. It will travel, where to travel, to whom it should monitor, to whom it report back, like everything. It will take its own decisions, and based on that algorithms, it will act like a human, and it will take necessary actions, and it will help in surveillance everything. Okay. Next to the part is Tesla car. So this Tesla car, like Tesla and Google cars, everything is a fully automated and intelligent car. So it's a driverless car. Here, what we need to, I already told, if you for driving, if we alone, if someone is planning to drive a car, or if you want to drive a car, what you should take some driving, if you want to take some driving training, right? If you once you get training in it, and after that only you can easily drive the car, because for some humans, for human itself, it will take some, maybe from 15 days to 1 month, it will take some time to learn the driving. So again, and some in environment, you need to react based on the environment. So all these things we need to train it to the car, so that it will drive its own, because there may be some traffic, some vehicle may go slow, or some vehicle goes very in a very rapid speed, and there may be some hilly stations, everything. There's so many situations, so many things will come in an environment, right? For all these things, the car should react, and it will so that it will be, after that only it will, we can call it as intelligent car, right? So they have successfully implemented it. This is one of the real world example. And again, this one is like a automated kitchen, automated robotic kitchen. So this one, what it will do, it will make recipes or make food by its own, based on the algorithms. We have so many algorithms implemented in it. So uh, by using all these algorithms, we can easily it will easily make recipes or make food, or it will take decisions. If someone comes to your home, or you need to take decisions whether to make some dinner or lunch, or make some coffee, like that. It should know what to decide, right? So these are the things. These are the some of the real world applications. Again, there are so many requirement in industry. Nowadays we have some there are the industrial automation. There are so many automations in industries, like from packing industries to steel industry, or food industry, or in travel industry. Everywhere there is so many automation is there already. Automation is in a high level. and still they are developing automation. Now we know we need to implement this ML in this in these places, like there's a packing industry. We can use the ML in the same automation, so that this automation will be more intelligent, and it will help you more, and it will be very useful for humans in future. Okay. So skill set requirements is, I already told, we need a programming knowledge like embedded C or Python or R language, or some programming part you need to first of all you need to learn this programming, and for hardware part you need electronics for sensors, how the sensor is working, how a certain circuit is working, and the embedded microcontrols, how its microcontrol microprocessor working, the autos, everything. You need all this knowledge. First you need to develop, you need a programming knowledge, and then you need this electronics and hardware part. All these things you need to learn first. After that you can develop a small automation, standalone automation projects or products. Once you develop all these things, then after that you need to know about the Internet of Things part. How can we connect these projects into the cloud, and you can control over in the remote place. So once you develop all these things, after that you need to learn the machine learning part, in machine learning, deep learning, all these things you need to learn. All these algorithms I told is various algorithms, right? All these algorithms you need to learn, and you need to implement these algorithms in the this already developed automated product, so that you can make a small project in an intelligent manner. Okay. So this is a small project part, and the face recognition using machine learning and Raspberry Pi with the help of OpenCV or some. It's a small project. Once, if you are interested, you can do this, and for doing this, you should learn. I told it, all the skill set you need to learn, or else a few people may join, and you can develop some project like this, so that you can at the end of the day you can have some satisfaction. Okay, you developed some project or some machine learning, so that the machine will be an intelligent machine. Okay, so this is a small example. You can develop so many projects like this. Okay. Next one is I told is artificial intelligence. This is the while if you implement a machine learning in machine, so the machine will be act as an intelligent machine. So the artificial intelligence will be a new electricity. This is the word. This is the quote given by said by Andrew Ng. He's a professor in American University. So he is into the machine learning and deep learning. He's developing so many algorithms or in deep learning part. He said this word, artificial intelligence and new electricity. Thing is, what he is trying to say is, in before 100 or 200 years, there was no electricity, and the world is operating in a manual way. So once the electricity came, the motors came, drives came. So the electricity changed the human living habit to a large extent, right? So electricity, after that electricity, the Internet of Things came, the internet came, computers came, everything is changed our living style. The artificial intelligence again is a very big thing, and it will make a big impact in future. And in future, nowadays you can't live without electricity, like as you can't live without mobile, like that. In future it will be like artificial intelligence world. You can't be there without AI. Okay. So that's what the presentation. I hope I delivered in a very good manner. I hope I explained what are things I need to tell. And this is our company, Manfred Technologies. We are situated in located at Coimbatore, Chitra, Coimbatore, and we are into the projects. We are developing some industrial automation projects using PLCs, and we are developing few embedded based applications like products or projects we are developing. And we are providing training for the students or professional working professionals or job seekers. We are providing training in all these sports like from PLC, SCADA, embedded, Python, Raspberry Pi, Java, Android, all those things we are providing training. So this is our company, and thank you.